Yo, let's go live. Stadia live session. This is the second episode, y'all. Let's talk about it. Hey, Baldur's Gate dropped yesterday. Let's talk about some CyberPunk 2077, some cat fighting over that, and just a lot more. Basically, we are turning the mics over to you like I should have done the first episode, but let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the new Stadia live session. It's the open mic forum for you. I know the last one I talked y'all heads off, you know what I mean? But that was the introductory episode. I want to deeply apologize again too, because my gaming chair hit the crapper. My cat, who acts like that she can't survive unless she's within 3 feet of me. I rolled back on it yesterday. I rolled back on, I guess, her paw or something like that. She screamed. She's running off. I got excited, tilted it to the side and cracked something. I don't know what I did, right? Because I was making sure that I didn't run over my cat's face. So the gaming chair is out of condition. So I got old Squeaky here. So I hope that y'all can deal with old Squeaky in the interim. But do me a favor, y'all. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let people know that we are live here. We are live. Tweet us out, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Because as always, we can't do this without y'all, man. Let me share. I'm going to tweet this out too. Hold on. Let me do one more thing. Boom, boom, boom. Home. We are live. Come join the open mic. All right. And then let's do one of these things too. Copy link to, I'm gonna bring up some other things too. But while I'm doing that too, what up, Hell Monkey 88? We got Chariot Man Gaming in the house. We got Christopher Torres as always, and we got the homie StreamYard. We got StreamYard in the house. So we're just gonna let everybody know that we're live. Let me just hit up a couple more places. No, it is open mic season. Oh, excuse me. Let me drop a link there. We're gonna do something like this. So we're gonna drop a link here. Let me see. What can I drop? Is this where I drop my links at? Yeah. Okay. So promotion there. All right. We're gonna go let the people at the Broadband Bullies know. We're going to drop on my here. Let me see. Not NSFW. All right. We're going to drop on my there. And I think there's one more place. There is one more place. Stadia general chat. Tweets. Unofficial. Stadia links. Okay. I don't even know what this is. All right. Announcements. Feeds. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Oh no, that's the Stadia Reddit. I don't want to. Well, I could. Let me see here. Stadia links. Stadia cat. Hold on. Stadia links. Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna drop our link right here. Boom. I didn't even realize that. All right. We are live. Let's do that. Okay, we dropped our stuff everywhere. Thank you everybody for joining. I appreciate all of y'all. Lloyd is in the house. What is going on, Lloyd, man? Hey, look, while everybody is building it, I want to talk a funny Stadia cast story. Lloyd will appreciate this, and then you can pass it along to Bill, too. We got Bubbius Well Kisses in the house. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. And what you're seeing here is gameplay. Maybe I should make it bigger, because y'all want to see the gameplay opposed to seeing me. Y'all don't care about me, right? Oh, no. Let's do it. Can we do it like this? We'll do it like that. Okay. That's gameplay of me playing Baldur's Gate. Sorry for the sparksoft.com watermark. Yeah, I got to stop being cheap so we can get rid of that. But here goes a funny Stadia cast story. So this past Sunday, I was listening to, speaking of open mics, I was listening to Bill's open mic on Stadia cast. And if you haven't heard Bill's open mic on Stadia cast, I highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, Lloyd, here's what I'm going to do. Because I start my mornings off definitely watching you guys on Sundays. Start my week off too. I start off with them and then I jump right to Sounds of Stadia. That's what gets my Stadia juices flowing. The Stadia chromosome. You didn't know you had a Stadia chromosome, huh? Yeah, that's what gets your Stadia chromosome started. Is if you start off with Stadia cast and then you hop to Sounds of Stadia. But yeah, if you could drop a link to Stadia cast, definitely, Lloyd. So I was listening to Bill's. I was listening to his open mic on Sunday, and me and my wife, one of our biggest fights is over technology. My wife that's old school. She hates technology. She hates the fact that I'm on here with you guys. She's a very mean person. No, my wife is a lovely person. She just doesn't like technology. She's very old school. She doesn't like paying bills online. She likes going and meeting and greeting people and talking to people, going to the local pharmacy and paying the light bill and stuff. She's one of those people, right? She doesn't embrace technology at all. Technology is of the devil, right? I'm the complete opposite. I do everything. Everything is electronic with me because it helps me track stuff. And it's just for someone that has been doing data analytics along with the other technical stuff, I've been blessed to self-train myself on like databases and things like that. And I actually had ran an IT team for a small stint. So, and that started off with me not having any technical experience. I went to school for business management and accounting. We're going to get into Stadia stuff just real quick, but I got to share the Stadia cast story, but I'm laying the background for this. So bear with me, right? I went to school for business management and accounting, right? Had no technical background whatsoever, but because of where I worked and we were very self-efficient, and this is why I can sympathize with Stadia, because I don't want to say Stadia is the redheaded stepchild at Google. I don't believe that, but I believe that because what they do is so new, because the whole gaming forte is so nuanced opposed to all of the other Google products and services out there, that they might feel like the odd man out sometimes. You know what I mean? And they gotta self-sustain themselves or get help where they can from Google PR or whatever the case may be. That is exactly what I had to deal with for 25 plus years in the department that I worked in. We were kind of like our own thing because we were different from anything else in our institution. And so then for me being a business management and accounting major, I had to teach myself, I had to go through a 2,000 book page of Visual Basic and teach myself Visual Basic on my own, because we were the redheaded children of the corporation. They wouldn't pay for me to go to classes. So I really had to go through that book on my own and teach myself how to do databases. They sent me to a couple of courses over at some mall somewhere. They were $35 a pop, so they would pay for those. But that's it. Everything else was self-taught. And so on, that I've become more in tune with technology because it's something that I was doing for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day at work. And I brought it home. I work in my wife can't stand it. She'll come to me and complain about something. And I'll say, sweetheart, well, what was our plan? Well, what do you mean what was our plan? We just hop up and we do this. And so then I always, just to get under her skin, I always type up what she gives me. This is how anal I am. I type up what she gives me on a spreadsheet and I post the spreadsheets all throughout the house. Like, okay, if we're going to do this project, then these are the steps and this is what you got to do, and such she can't stand it. So that's a constant fight with me and my wife, and I get tickled by it, is about technology. Well, one of the things that my wife used to hate was what I did is I like listening to podcasts in the morning, particularly as we get up in the mornings. I listen to Stadia cast every morning, right? So I bought one of those Bluetooth light bulbs and I put it in our bathroom. So she's getting dressed, she's getting ready for work. And I played, and I wasn't playing Stadia cast yet. I was playing Bill's open mic from the previous day. And she's like sighing. She's like, oh, here goes this video game stuff. You nerds. Here goes this video game stuff again. Until Bill started talking about, the whole Sabrina thing. And I don't want to get into that like right now. I think we've covered that. We beat that to death. But Bill said something that I had agreed with, but then like hit at the core with my wife. And he said, you know what? Sometimes people aren't happy until they're upset. And she was like, oh, amen to that. And I was like, well, what? She's like, oh no, this guy that you're listening to. And she literally stopped putting on her makeup and stopped getting ready and was sitting there listening to the rest of the bills. She knows nothing about video games. She knows nothing. She loves technology. But I just want to let Lloyd know so he can pass along to Bill. He has a new fan. She don't like my stuff. She can't stand it. It's like, you're too damn loud. You need to shut the hell up. You think people want to hear you talk. But she loves Bill from Stadia Cast. So Lloyd, if you can let her know that she appreciated that open mic. And I always I was going to pass something to Bill behind the scenes and let him know. But I was like, as I'm typing, I'm like, this looks like an excerpt from War and Peace. So I'll just get into it in one of my live sessions. Lloyd said, Bill has hold on, let me switch back to this screen. He said Bill has the finger on the pulse of the 2020s. Absolutely. Yeah, he sure does. Well, he has him a new fan. So I thought that was hilarious. All right. So here's the topics that I want to talk about, but I want to do an open mic. Again, this is open mic. This is not about me. This is about you guys. And if you could do us a huge favor, let people know that we're live. Hit that hunchback arrow below. Doesn't cost you anything, I promise. And send it out. But before we do that, let's just pay some bills real quick by just letting you guys know what we're doing on the PNTS network. And first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the homie. Okay, what did I do here? All right, we do it like this. I'm going to give a shout out to the homie Chase. We have Chase and somebody else. I don't know if I wouldn't name them, but I don't know if they want to be named, if they want to do it in secrecy and all this other stuff. I don't know. But we had 2 new Patreon members last night as well. We've been getting Patreon members left and right, and I'm not doing this to gloat. I'm just bringing this up because the homie Chase joined as well. And so thank you, good brother. Appreciate that. And Chase, I had a great impromptu. I would only caught bits and pieces of it because I was live streaming during it, but definitely check that out after this as well. But we put out some new Patreon content. Now, here's how it reads, because you know me. I'm Mr. AKA Clickbait. It says many Stadia community members are mad at MM2K. Now, that is true. They are angry, so they want me to be, or they want the same from me is what it should have read. Let me explain why I'm here. And this is a great piece of content that actually is kind of older, but I still think it's relevant because I still get people left and right behind the scenes that say, you know what, MM2K, I think you're being too glowingly positive about this platform. I think the platform is in trouble. I don't like it because of XYZ. I even had someone last night, despite all your Baldur's Gate capping, I still think that, they're in a lot of trouble, blah, 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 blah. You'd be surprised. And I like it. I'm not, for those of you that are reaching out to me behind the scenes, I'm not telling you to stop. I actually adore this because it keeps me engaged with you guys. And I love a diversity of thought. It's not about me being up here 24/7, blah, 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 blah. But I will say that in my shorter tenure here with Stadia, I'm getting a lot more responses, more robust comments and critiques and things like that than I ever got in my 3 years of doing the medicine and all that other stuff. It's over there, which I don't mind. I love it doing it too. It's all about picking a flag and sticking to it. I don't do that. If PlayStation is doing great today, I'm gonna chop a video about that. If Xbox is doing great Tuesday, I'm gonna chop a video about that, and so forth and so forth. As far as I'm concerned. And over there, they want you to pick a flag and stick to it. You know what I mean? And I just refuse to do that when it comes to those platforms. With that being said, over here, I love the robust discussions that I get behind the scenes, but a lot of people are angry with me that I'm not angry. And it goes back to what my wife adored so much of what Bill said. Some people just aren't happy unless they're angry. I'm not upset. And I get there were things like CyberPunk 2077, which I'll get into, that I was like, worked up about. But as I look at this platform from 5,000 feet, I've had an epiphany. And that epiphany was brought upon me because of people like the homie 64, Freeform Gaming. Check him out on YouTube and Twitter as well. He has great, excellent content. But he was trying to break things down to us in the community that we weren't listening to until that last connect, and it all, hit home. So with that said, I get a lot of people who are mad or upset. They want me to be on the same bandwagon that they are on. I think that they don't understand. They misconstrued what I'm out here for. I'm not just yelling and all this other stuff because I want to cause a rift. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm enthused about what I'm talking about. So that's why I get excited. And that's why it's portrayed on the mic. But there's a distinct purpose on why I'm here. Facts. The presentation or the lack thereof of facts is what fuels my excitement, not just bucking against somebody. And I explain that there. So definitely check that out. If you're not a Patreon member, you are missing out on a lot of content because I drop these like daily. I'm actually like 4 days behind because I was doing like double one. Like as soon as a thought crosses my head, I don't wait till a podcast. I give you my preliminary thoughts in between in these Stadia lyrics to go sessions. So you definitely want to become a Patreon member. It only costs you $3 a month to get access to all Stadia related content. Now $1 a month will get you access to my streamlined content. Like today, I talked about the PlayStation 5 reveal. What I didn't go over in my live stream, I talked about it there. That'll get you access for $1. But if you want access to some of the more deep-rooted Stadia-related stuff, it's $3. Go to go to patreon.com/PNTS network for that. Also, me and Storm, we're doing live streams every Monday. Our focus now is the Vision to Summit, the 100 Story Summit. Man, we were killing it. You want to check that? Also, check our Risk of Rain stream. That's on. There's just too much content out there. So I just wanted to let people know that was out there. And we got content out there pretty much every daggone day. With that said, let's get back to the situation at hand. Now, why am I? Something's weird here. Let me remove that. Okay, all right, because I couldn't see myself. All right, so with that said, it is now about to go down. Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's see here. Let's see who we got in the chat here. Cold Blood Sensei. He says, facts is Baldur's Gate 3/8. Hey, you know what, Cold Blood? You're right, man. You're right. You know what? I'm just a fool. Oh, man. You're right. You're right. Oh, geez. Let's see here. Charts. Oh, hold on. What am I looking at? Uh-oh. More. Let me see. What the heck is going on here? Okay, they're not. It's not charts. What is wrong? Let's see. Oh crap. Okay, I'm looking for something, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Here we go. I don't know why it's not. All right. You know what, Cold Blood? You're so right, man. Boom. Let's do this. Can I do it? Can I do it like this? Can I do a little something like this? No, that's not it. For some reason, they let me. Does it do it like this? Oh, ooh. Ooh, look what's top selling on Steam. Ooh. Also, with games like Among Us, Dota, Cross Strike, this is not only the top selling, but it's in the top 5 on Steam. Cold Blood, this response ain't it, Chief. But we still love you. Keep trying. All right, now let's get to it, y'all. Shake Capo in the house. Shake, what's going on, good brother? Lloyd says, I got as far as the main menu with this, then was called away to clean up after a sick kid. Oh, hey, Lloyd, fantastic game. I love it. People are going to see my vices as a, what do you call it? My vice as a RPG nut. Because what I love to do is I love to get into every nook and cranny of an RPG. Like normally when I play an RPG, y'all, what I used to do, and I just stopped doing it like within the last year or so, is every RPG I play, I used to get the strategy guides. Because I don't like the prospect of not coming across and getting everything that I can. That's how crazy I get with RPGs. So I don't want to spoil it too much. It's not a spoil. There's the part that Sven played where there's that thing that consumes the brain, Lloyd. I think you saw that if you saw the panel from hell. And he got it to become one of his minions. So that's early on, Lloyd. You'll see that early on. And I tried to get it to work, and the dice rolls weren't going in my favor. I mean, it was just a complete crap show. But definitely watch my stream on Stadia Dosage on Twitter. You'll see the frustration venting. You can actually see the steam coming from the top of my head. And you know I'm lying and bloviating. But you can see how upset I was, and you could hear it. Because it took me like 6 times, and finally I gave up. I said, I got to go further on in this game. And I got into my first like group fight with my companion. And finally, I got to understand the game. If I had any issues with Baldur's Gate, I'm going to say that, and I get his early access, but I don't like this new trend, y'all. I don't know how y'all feel. Let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. Shout out to Stadia Rev. He says, I'm checking in. Good to see you, my good brother. I don't like this new trend, y'all. And this is everywhere. It's not just gaming. It's just with consumer products. Nobody wants to provide a tutorial anymore. I mean, I'm not saying turn the whole first level into a tutorial, but what I'm saying is in that first battle, it should be, okay, it should take into consideration somebody playing that game that's never played a Larian Studios game before in life. Now I have, but just some of the controls, it's been a while, and some of the controls were foreign to me, and I had to get reacclimated to it. But you could have a lot of people that would love the title that may be trying it over a friend's house, but because everything is too complicated, they get frustrated, like, man, I ain't this. They do a cold blood to say this ain't it. And that's why it's not just a Larian thing, it's just a cultural thing. Why do y'all think this is happening? Let me know, y'all, in the comment section. I don't like this trend to find it yourself, like this whole Easter egg or mystery search thing. Find out what to do yourself. No, there should always be, I don't care, early access or anything. There should always be a short little tutorial that says, okay, you're getting into your first fight. Here's what you may want to do. This Demogorgon or whatever is flying. You have a ranged fighter. Move them over here. Just to give you that preliminary thing. I don't think that would take too long to code, right? I could be wrong. Give you that preliminary thing. Then after that, then I get that you're done. Then I get the rest of the early, but something as preliminary as that was missing, and I had to figure it out. And I get frustrated quick. If y'all didn't know that, if y'all weren't paying attention, I get frustrated quick. So that was an issue for me. But once I caught on, I had a hell of a time. It says, show us how it looks on Stadia because it's not the most sold game on Stadia. My point still stands. It didn't help stay. How do you, okay. So what do you have that proves that it wasn't the most sold on Stadia? Which I don't say that that's off base, but what evidence do you have? And two, what evidence do you have that it didn't help Stadia because Cold Blood Sensei, I love you, brother. I've gained with you and I love you. You thorough, but I'm gonna tell you what you ain't. I'm gonna tell you what you ain't, brother. You ain't this cat right here. This cat right here, Wolfheart. Let me read this to y'all. See, Cold Blood Sensei trying to mess up the whole rhythm of my show, but we gonna shut his silly behind up today. He gonna put on his own muzzle. You got that muzzle I sent you, Cold Blood? Pull it out, get ready to put it on and shut the hell out. No, I love you, Cold Blood. Story with a crazy twist. Streamer Wolfheart FPS goes to play Baldur's Gate 3 natively via Steam. Can't get it to work. Remember it's on Stadia and boots it up, rocks out the rest of the stream, 4,000 watching. So far, 43,000 views total. And if you watch the stream, which I have the link to in this tweet, people all throughout the stream were like, oh man, we didn't realize Stadia performed like that. Oh, that's dope. Oh, I ain't got to beef up my PC. Oh, I got an 8-year-old rig here. Let me go jump on it. They're going all over the place. So even though Cold Blood Sensei, I may personally know, and I love you to death, but I may know that you may be a better shooter than the homie Wolfheart. See, I don't even know his name. But 53,000 people do. That's more than I got, and that's definitely more than what you got. So before you use terms that are so defined like it didn't help Stadia one bit, 53,000 viewers who watched this guy play it on Stadia that weren't sour pussies like you. Oh, man. Sitting there stomping their feet over something that's free. You sitting there, hey, look, this is the thing that I don't get. And Cold Blood Sensei, no, I love roasting them. This is like Def Comedy Jam. See, I tell Cold Blood, but see, Cold Blood Sensei, he's brave. He's a very brave soul. But it's like if y'all familiar with Def Comedy Jam, when Martin Lawrence would get on the stage, I bet you them seats in the front row were like 35 cents because ain't nobody want to get roasted by Martin Lawrence. Well, you get roasted today. You're going to get the hell out of your 35 cents, Cold Blood Sensei. Let me explain something to you. When those people get to see how well that performs, and again, they were all in the chat. Hey, yo, my computer's 8 years old. I didn't even fathom I could play. Now I could play it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's going a long way opposed to what you're saying. It didn't help Stadia out one bit. You may not want it to help Stadia out because you love your dedicated devices. I don't know what you do with them, but whatever. But that's not the case here. I got 53,000 reasons to tell you why that's not the case. But I digress, and I love you. And you got the hell out of your 35 cents in the front row, Cold Blood. Oh, goodness. He says, I'm worse than death. But no, I got to, regardless if I got it word for word, I got the gist of your crazy comment. But I love you, good brother. All right. So, with that being said, let's go back to the chat, see what y'all got to say. Damn man, 03 said the Sandman from Showtime at the Apollo coming out. Hey, yo, Mr. Sandman. Yes. Oh, man. All right. So, Lloyd says, I hope Grace popping in chat is a regular thing. Little steps like that will be huge for the community. She dropped into Bill Stream yesterday as well. Love to see it. Oh, did Grace from Google pop in here, or y'all playing with my emotions? Was Grace from Google in here? Hey, Grace. See, next time, call me, Grace. Nah, I don't think she probably wasn't in here. But yeah, that's a great thing for her popping into chats all together. And a matter of fact, see, Lloyd, you and Cold Blood are ruining my. No. Do I have that here? No, I don't have it here. I was gonna say both you and Lloyd, or Lloyd, you and Cold Blood are ruining my show. I'm all out of whack. I had a tweet served up where shout out to Grace from Google, man. Grace, they talking that stuff, and I'm loving it. They're like, oh man, I feel sorry for those that had to download. I feel sorry, like that was like the homie. What was it? Wolfpain? I keep forgetting his name. Golly, I'm sitting there trying to holler. Wolfhard. They called him Wolfbang. Wolfhard. It's like the good brother Wolfhard. That happened live on air. It happened live on air. Wolfhard had X amount of players watching, people watching him, 4,000 people. And he couldn't get the thing to download. And he went to Stadia and boom, just like that. So with Grace, and what I would do, Grace, if you are in here and you're listening, what I would let the Stadia people know, and again, y'all don't need to listen to me. Y'all, hey, look, y'all were Fortune 500, multi-billion, trillion-dollar successful before I probably knew how to spell my name, right? But I'm just saying, just observations from boots on the ground. I would be calling up Wolfhard and saying, hey, we would love to use an excerpt of that stream and get somebody to say, just get Jack Buser or somebody, just say, hey, look, we love for you to game everywhere, but I really, and we love Baldur's Gate, you know what I'm saying? But but for those that you want the comfort of ease, like our good friend Wolfhard, Stadia can save the day. Here's an example. And just take little snippets or him I'm trying to download this. Oh man, this really, hey guys, well, Stadia, just take little snippets of that and make a video out of that. That would be golden. Now, of course, y'all got to go to Larian because Larian ain't trying to play. They ain't trying to play no favorites anywhere. They love Larian has a deep PC roots. And I get it. But look, Stadia funded this, right? You know what I'm saying? Stadia funded this, right, Lloyd and panel? They funded this. So to me, my question would be, why wouldn't they be able to say, hey, Larian, we're going to do this in a tasteful way. Don't worry, we're not going, but we just want to show what the perks are of dealing with Stadia and just take snippets of Wolfhard trying to download it and it not working. And then just take snippets. I mean, it's on their proprietary software, right, on YouTube. Look at the comments from so-and-so. Oh man, I got an 8-year-old computer. Now that would be a fantastic stream. I mean, a fantastic advert. Fantastic. Chariot Man Gaming says, see those downloads? Once those real big time games come with a whole lot of gigs, this is when Stadia can benefit. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. She got awesome. She said, Hellmonkey88 said she popped into Eddie Player One's stream last night. Awesome. Shout out to the homie Chase in the house. Glad you're feeling better, good brother. And thank you for joining the Patreon family. Appreciate it. Cold Blood says, hey, thank you, Stadia Revolution. That's all I wanted to know. Hey, Cold Blood, you come. Hey, look, Cold Blood, you come in my streams and you cause so much havoc. I'm allowed to get a victory every now and again. Don't act salty. I love you. Brian Aguilar, press F to pay respects for those trying to download. And yeah, exactly, man. That would make a killer commercial to me. No one knows the exact sales numbers for any game on Stadia. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lloyd laughing when I said him and Cold Blood are destroyed by stream. Yeah, they got me all over. Hey, Lloyd, it's bad enough that I have difficulty even with all the spreadsheets that I talked about that I post in the house. I still don't follow them, and that's where my wife always gets me. I still go off track. I'm so scatterbrained. Antonio says, dead ass every time MM2K laughs, I remember the dude trying to sell Bumblebee to Sam and Transformers. Oh, Jesus. Happy Wednesday. All right, y'all. So Baldur's Gate was a fantastic experience for me. And y'all can see here. Let me enlarge that. Oh, no, that ain't the right one. Y'all can see it right there. I'm trying to go through the dialogue choices. I'm trying to incapacitate to a degree that husk so it can be, it can work with me. And I couldn't do it. I'd have to fight it. And I think it's strong as hell too. It's not recommended that you fight that thing by yourself. I got lucky. Out of like the 5 or 6 times that I tried to do what Sven did, I had got lucky and actually beat it. It's not meant for you. It's meant for you to either get it to become your companion or die. That's what it's meant for you to do. Every time that I tried and I couldn't get it to be my companion, I died because it hit me once and it would kill me. One time I got lucky, and it takes you 2 hits to kill that thing. One time I got lucky and I hit it first. And no. It went to hit me and it missed. I hit it one time and then it hit me again or tried to, and it missed twice and I killed it. And that's the only reason why I survived that. And I think that whole thing is cool. But just so everybody's aware of what to expect when they get to that part. All right. Broke Refuse said, I will pick a PlayStation 5 Stadia. Will take at least 3 years in order to be in a level. Here it gets all the multiplats day one with same or better quality than next gen systems. So here's the thing. You game how you want to game. Again, I said this in the Patreon content that I released earlier. I've been saying this all week. My job here, and then we had somebody come in and say, well, convince me why I should buy Stadia. To me, that's the crazy. Again, I'm not trying to be mean, y'all, but I just want us to put our thinking caps on besides going tippity tap all over the internet. Put our thinking caps on. God forbid I come here and I don't put mine on. It'll be a crazy wild day. Y'all be like, huh? What's wrong with that guy? But why are you coming to me, someone halfway around the world that don't know you, don't know your profile, don't know your family, I don't know what your favorite sandwich is, let alone know what your favorite games is? Why are you coming to me to sell you something? I get the advent of the internet. I get it does so many great things. And this is why my wife, sometimes she beats me down in an argument. She like, people lean too much on other people that they don't even know because of technology. And I can't argue with her there. Internet is great with connecting to people all around the world, but it doesn't erase the need to have to know people. I don't know you like that to suggest to you what you should buy. That's a crazy proposal to me. And again, I hate to be on my soapbox, y'all, but again, we got put off to just think. Why are you asking me, someone that don't know you? I don't know what you like, to convince you to buy anything. How are you even comfortable with that? Because I wouldn't be. I don't go to anybody for them to convince me to buy something and they don't have a profile on me. They're just talking. They don't know me. What I do is I go to different places and I gather information. I collect the information. The internet makes my collection of information easier, but it doesn't supplement the fact that if you're going to just straight off tell me what to buy, you got to at least know me and know what I like. And I use the ease of the internet to help gather my information, and I make my own purchasing decision. I don't never want to tell anybody what to do, and I don't have a profile of you. So my point is, guys and gals, my job here on this channel is not to tell you what to get. My job is to let you know what's available. And what I'm telling you is, if you want a gaming platform with ease of use that allows you to get some gaming in, you know what I'm saying, where you ain't got to sit and wait for no downloads, no patches and all that other stuff, that has great performance and gives you all of that without having to spend $500, then Stadia is the platform that you want to look at. Now, on top of that, the structure is good, but then you got to look at the games. It's always about the games. Some people care. The 5% more or less than anybody care about getting all of the top-notch games day and date. Every gamer doesn't care about that. Casuals all don't care about that. They want access to the games that they play. All casuals don't even get those games day and date. A lot of them do. So if you're not I gotta have a day and date person on everything, and you because here's one thing to consider, guys. It don't matter how many games a platform has. Let's just say if me let's just say me and my brother Chase, we came out with the Hachitachi 2000, right? It got cartridges in it. It got 3-bit cartridges in it. You know, we say it got the superior graphics. If you put motor oil in the side canister compartment, gigabit unit, Digital Foundry said it's the best gigabit unit out there. And it came with over 20,000 games, right? The Hachitachi 2000. Let's just say that this console is out there. Me and Chase come up with it. We got all these exclusives for it. But let's just say the SWAE WD-40 oil that you got to put in the Hachitachi 2000 can only be bought on the west side of Cambodia every third Monday during the winter holiday seasons. Then how good are those 30,000 exclusives to you? Now, I use that crazy scenario to, I said all of that to say this. Who cares about what's day and date if you're someone that loves the game but only have so much time to do it? You got a family. You got responsibilities. You got a wife. You got kids, grandkids, whatever the case may be. And gaming for hours upon a day, drinking Mountain Dew and licking and pulling or cleaning the cheese doodle dust from your navel, those days are over for you. You only have limited time. Those 30,000 games mean nothing to you if your accessibility to be able to play those games are horrible. I ain't got time to pour the Hachitachi juice in the side of the Hachitachi 2000. I need to be able to pick up the controller, press start, and be in my game in like a minute. If I got to sit there and wait 5, 10, 15 minutes for a download, for a patch, it's over. And I'm telling you, many of us are like that. I was like that for a while. I was starting to get to a point, y'all, I want to say prevalently in 2018, I was talking more about games than I was playing them. Because because of all these daggone patches, this is broken, this bug, and I just wasn't feeling gaming. Now, 2019, I went to go upgrade my rig, and I was enjoying my rig, but then there's too much stuff with PC gaming. The maintenance on it can be mind-numbing. And y'all saw the issues I was having with the streams. In comes Stadia. It's giving me that 60 frames per second performance without me having to check the codecs and the bobecs and the dobecs. And it has the games that I like on it. Now, are there games like Jedi Fallen Order and Rogue Company that I would love to play on Stadia? Yes. But guess what? I can play them on GFN, baby. GFN ain't nothing but another $5. And this is what I don't get. Y'all got to get out of this caveman mentality. Stadia is either free, $10 or $100 for a Chromecast Ultra, plus the price of the game if you want to buy it a la carte. GFN is $5 a month for the 8-hour sessions, the ones that's really even fathomable as far as I'm concerned. If you're going to do straight up cloud gaming, that's $15 a month, people. Why can't you have both? And that's a lot better proposal than me having to pay $500 for an Xbox, $500 for a PlayStation, another $300 for a Wii. Well, the Wii got games that ain't no one else got, so that's different. Or not Wii, Switch. I'm sorry, I would still call it a Wii. But that's different. But I can get all those games, and I'm getting there with the combo of GFN and PlayStation. I mean, GFN and what's it called? Every now and again, there's a PlayStation game that comes out there. Boom, I can go get that. I'm not going to talk bad about Xbox. Soon, when the Bethesda games start pumping, they'll be bumping for AAA content. But the overwhelming majority of the games that y'all say, oh, it ain't on Stadia. Oh, GFN is $5 a month. You can get it there. But if it is on Stadia, I prefer to play it on Stadia. That's why I rock out with Stadia. Stadia just performs better. But I can get both. This is what I don't understand. I don't understand this caveman argument and how you guys are trying to apply it to cloud gaming. Cloud gaming is something totally different from the caveman era. Y'all gotta get with it. You got to get with it. I'm sorry. Next we go hard says Baldur's Gate 3 has a damn brain talking to you. Yes, it's crazy. Christopher Turris says, but Stadia do get most games day and date though. Not all, but yeah, Immortal Phoenix. Yeah, and that's the thing. Every platform has its product placement. And what Stadia's product placement was going to be was Uplay Plus, but that all that got pushed back. I've explained why. You know, if you follow the tea leaves, I explained why 1,000 times over. Here's the problem. Despite all that, I can get Amazon, Stadia, and GFN for $20 a month. A little bit over $20 a month. Let's do the math. Let's do some math. Let me see. Share screen. Let's do some math. $20 a month. I can get GFN, Stadia, $21 a month, right? So if you take $500 divided by 21, that's 2 years. That's 2 years of payments for my Xbox or my PlayStation. That's just for a singular system. And that's not adding in their Game Pass or their PlayStation Plus that you tack on top of that, right? Am I right or are you wrong? You know what I'm saying? That's 2 years. I get access to 3 different gaming platforms for 2 years at the cost that it takes for you to buy one hard dedicated device system. And you're complaining to me, why Stadia? Why not Stadia? Why not Stadia, GFN, and Amazon? Again, the caveman argument no longer applies, people. It doesn't apply. And for scenarios like how the homie Christopher Perez points out, Stadia is getting top tier games. It's only been out for 11 months. In the 11 months that it has been out, it is outpacing Xbox One, a platform that's been out for decades, and it's on its way to having as many games in 12 months as the PlayStation 4, the behemoth. So if you take that into consideration, this whole, well, man, we're going to worry about games, man. We got games to worry about. The fact that it's outpacing Xbox in the same time frame and it's on par with the PlayStation, I wouldn't be worried. Don't be worried. They only opened the floodgates in March of 2019. Look, y'all, let's not get short-term memory. Like we think AAA development takes 4 months and 3 days. They only opened the floodgates to developers in March of 2019. Again, they are outpacing the Xbox One, and they're on par with the PlayStation in the first 12 months of those life cycles. I wouldn't be worried. Let's continue on. He says, exactly, we do get AAA games for only $10 a month. I'm done paying attention to these other gamers. I know, Torres, but it's open mic, man. I gotta give love to everybody. I'm good with all them subscriptions. They can miss me with that. I'm just playing with Stadia. I will wait and enjoy what's. I'm like, you know what? Now, Nix, I can sympathize with that. Stadia has me so spoiled that I might go and hop on Rogue Company a little bit. But outside of Rogue Company, I don't want to play nothing else anywhere else. Like Greedfall, I really want to play Greedfall. But GFN, and again, this is nothing against my GFN fans, but GFN's performance is so, suspect. I'm afraid to buy Greedfall and play it there and it not work. Because I'm going to tell you one game that doesn't work is Remnant. My God, my God, my God. That is a hot pile of trash on GFN. And I'm sorry. And that's one of my favorite games of 2019. We did a giveaway on it on my channel. I love that game. I went and bought a copy. I love that game so much. I went and bought Z a copy. I bought Nethos a copy. I think I bought Noah a copy, bought myself. I went and bought 6 copies of that game that day. My wife beat my jaw N-word that day. I went and bought 6 $40 or was that 50? I can't remember how much the game was. It was either $40 or $50. I bought 6 copies in one day and said, here, and then bought a 7th copy and did a giveaway. I bought one for me, my son, Z, Nethos, Noah, the giveaway, and it was one more copy I bought. I may have bought it for my brother on PC. That's how much I love that game. But on GFN, my God, my God, my God. That game is a hot mess. Everything's not optimized. Everything's not optimized. So, again, that's why it's good to have all of them. Cold Blood, hold on. Cold Blood. I think I was going to buy you one. Now that I think about it, wasn't you something happened with the giveaway or something? Or did you win? No, you didn't win the giveaway. But something happened. I was going to buy you one. Now that I think about it. Yeah, I bought everybody a copy, man. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me that day. I went and bought 7 copies of Remnant. 2 were for Xbox and the other 5 were for PC. No, 3 were for Xbox because I think the winner of the raffle wanted it on Xbox. So I went and bought it for him on Xbox. He said, no, I did. I'm a liar, Cold Blood Sensei. I got to make myself look good on YouTube. Yeah, I know I didn't buy it for you either. No, I'm just joking. I thought something was going to happen. I was going to buy it for you. But no, you know what I think it was? See, that's why I love when things happen live on air. Cold Blood Sensei, I think, I could be wrong. I could be making this up. This could be a figment of my imagination, y'all. But it sounds good, so I'm going to go with it. I think I was going to buy Cold Blood a copy. But Cold Blood was talking so much crap because here's what happened. My son is bonkers. I bought it for him and he beat that game that night. My son is a grand wizard. I don't know, man. He was up till 2 a.m. and my wife was yelling at me because I let him stay up because I let him do his thing when we gaming, man. She don't get it. It's time for her to leave us alone. Let us do our gaming thing. So he was up till like 3 or 4 morning. I happened to be up chopping some video, doing something. And he said, Dad, I beat it. I said, what? And that game is hard. He said, Dad, I beat it. I'm going to tell you what, It was telling me, breaking it down. I'm like, oh man, I was like, Zaire, why you beat it? You know what I'm saying? I said, I was hot because it was supposed to be me, him, and Noah as the 4-man team on Remnant because Remnant is hard. It is super hard. And he beat it. So he was like, well, I guess maybe I'll run back through it with you. And then I know how he is. So he was done. So I wanted to buy a copy for somebody to play with me, Noah, and Nethos. And I could have sworn, Cold Blood, I had offered to you in a stream. I could be making this up. And you were talking so much crap on it that you turned it down. Now that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hey, look, he said this is a response. Oh, man, that's funny. And the funniest thing about it is he probably ain't lying. I probably just made that up on the fly. I could have swore, but no, I don't think it was Cold Blood. It was somebody I wanted to buy another copy for because my son had teed me off. He beat it that night. He's crazy, man. He gets a game that he can't think. He can't think about anything but that game. And I created that monster. My wife is right to be mad at me. On Stadia Pro, with few games I've purchased, I'm rocking. Exactly, Roosevelt. Exactly. We got the homie Andy Morris in the house. He says, hi, everyone. How's it going? He said, here, read my article of all the games of Stadia this fall and winter. Here, let me do that. Let me pull it up here. Where's that? I'm going to pull it up. Rev. Shout out to the homie Stadia Rev. He's writing for Cloudy with a Chance of Games, a great gaming publication. You definitely want to check them out. We'll pull up his article. Oh, look at that. Look at here. Look at here. Oh, boy, look at here. All right, that's dope. I like this. Okay, this is the homie Rev's article on all the games coming this fall and winter to Stadia. He says this fall is looking great. So, look at it. Okay. Oh, look, whoa. I didn't expect to be scrolling out that far. Yeah, there's a lot of games out here. And the thing about Stadia is here's one of the things, and y'all let me know if y'all agree with this. And then we're going to we're going to talk about CyberPunk. I want y'all thoughts on this. Stadia said, or Phil Harrison said earlier on, that the biggest draw to Stadia, or its pillars of its community, are going to be tech enthusiasts and casuals who thought the barrier entry into games was too much. And I don't think when he said the latter, he wasn't talking about just price. He's talking about convenience and time. Like I told you, there are plenty of times in 2018, I sit down, games were broken in 2018. I sit down with a game, there was a patch every other day. And I'd be like, dang, there's another patch. Destiny. I'm like, man, I can't play. I just go watch something on Hulu. There was a lot of that. I just be ready to game, and then there was a crazy patch. I go to Hulu instead because I only have 45 minutes to chop it up. If 15 of that is spent downloading something, I only got 30 minutes. I'll use the 30 minutes watching an anime or something like that, right? So, you had a lot of that happening in 2018 for me, and it just was a turnoff as far as gaming was concerned. And I think that's what Phil was talking about, as well as people that didn't want to pay hundreds of dollars. They're tight on their money. I have a good friend of mine that works with me. We gonna call him Big D, my homie Big D. A good friend of mine worked with me for pretty much over 2 decades. And he's a big Bethesda fan like how I am. And he would always talk to me about his twin girls that love gaming too. And he'd be like, man, I'd be watching them. He said, I've had to turn it over to them. I can't afford to buy them all these games for the 3DS and all this other stuff, and then buy myself games too. I just can't afford it. And I ended up giving him one of my old Xboxes, you know what I mean? And he was thankful, and he was starting to buy games, on that. But can you imagine a situation where my friend D could just pay $10 a month and get a plethora of games that he likes, and he don't care about day and date. That's not his thing. That's not his thing. There are plenty. Y'all don't really see, y'all be on Twitter all the time, and y'all think because y'all be on Twitter, and I'm talking about myself, how I be on my soapbox, like I'll be doing the same stuff too. But y'all be on Twitter, y'all be on Twitter all the time, and y'all think that everybody that games, again, be picking the Cheez-It dust from their navel like y'all, drinking nothing but Mountain Dews on their grandmommy's couch in the basement, gaming with nothing else to do. People have families and responsibilities, and they have limited funds of money, but they want to game too. And everybody that does game don't be on Twitter. That's just a minority of us. So, with that being said, we got to understand that there is a group of people. We may not see it because we're in this bubble of constant social activity, social media activity. But there are a larger groups of people that want to game. They're not getting on Twitter. My friend D is 48, 49 years old, man. He ain't getting on. Look, like, I'm not saying there ain't 48, 49-year-old, but he's not into the nerd culture of this like the rest of us are. He's not getting on Twitter. To him, getting on Twitter to talk about video games is ridiculous. And there's people like that, but they're gamers. They love gaming. It's a form of entertainment. They're not into the whole nerd culture. They just love gaming. So this damn chair is squeaky. But so because of that, I explained why earlier in the show. There are a facet of gamers that things like Stadia and GFN would be great for. We just don't see them because we're on the social media bubble. And we think that everybody that really cares about gaming has to be on this bubble too. No, absolutely not. The homie Zogic says, yeah, laugh out loud. Yeah, I just started using Twitter this year, but I've been gaming my whole life. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, we got we got to do this every show. And Munar, the resident hater bot of Stadia, our good friend Animar says, CyberPunk will play better on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I'm assuming that you're a PlayStation fanatic, and Munar. I don't know. It might. But for those that don't have $500 that want to play it and still get great fidelity and still get good performance, who want to just pay the price of the game without having to buy a console, Stadia is a great option for them. And they could take it with them everywhere they go. Traveling gamers. I told y'all the story about my friend that loved art so much that what he would do is every time he would travel all the time. He was part of our IT department. He would travel all the time. And every time he would go to a new city, he would just go into the local Best Buy, buy a whole new rig, install Arc on it, and play it on the rig. And then when he leave, he'd go back, pay the restocking fee at Best Buy, and go about his business and rinse and repeat. And he considered that restocking fee the fee for just written the rig. Imagine if he doesn't have to do that city to city. What's that restock? I'm thinking on a rig good enough to play Arc at what he's used to. He's probably paying a restocking fee of $50 city to city every 2 weeks. He's paying. So that's $100 a month. What if instead he could play Arc on Stadia in 4K for just $10 a month instead of $100? That's 10 times the savings. There's people like that all over the globe. But we are just in this bubble to where we think we make up the vast majority of the gaming community, and that is so wrong. You're so wrong on that. But yeah, probably will play better on there until Stadia releases what do you call it? Until Stadia releases Gen 2.0, that could be the case. Absolutely. Hell Monkey says also it's not a relevant argument as Stadia uses your internet differently when streaming games as opposed to downloading. All right. So let's do this. Let's talk CyberPunk. All right, we're gonna get a little bit messy here. I just want to warn everybody. We're gonna get a little more messy. Little bit more messy. So here's the deal, y'all. For full transparency, and I don't want y'all to pick sides. I'm not saying this to say, I want you guys to go hate Paris. No, I'm not saying that. But we keep it real on these open mics. I'm gonna give y'all appearance in my world. Gamer Tag Radio, which is one of the podcast, well, not one, the podcast that Paris Lily is from, used to be one of my favorite podcasts. Not so much because of their gaming knowledge, but because of the access that they had to the makers in the gaming world. Now, Paris hates the idea of Stadia. He hates it. I have talked to him like on air as someone that was watching the show and just leaving chats and stuff like that. I would be in their Discord, talking to them about it. He hates the idea of Stadia. This is why he hates the idea. And someone who has just listened to the show. He doesn't like, he's one of those believers like our good friend, what's his name from Forbes? Paul Tassi, that feels, contrary to the facts that I just gave y'all because they're in a bubble, he believes that there is not a market for people to want to buy a console that can't afford to buy a console or don't want to buy a console every 3 or 4 years. He doesn't think there's such market. And the reason why, and if you if you pay close attention, not all, but the vast majority of those that think that way are the people that get free stuff. I mean, I just got to keep it real. The vast majority of people that say stuff like that get free stuff. They're getting a free Xbox. They're getting a free PlayStation. They're getting free games. Please, Paris, review this and let us know what you think. The overwhelming majority of the content that they interact with comes free. Then on top of that, even if it doesn't come free, they work for major publications and they've been blessed financially to where if they got to buy it, there's no sweat off their brow. When you create a situation where those type of people congregate amongst themselves 24/7, as it relates to this culture, a bubble is created and they become disconnected from the average gamer. They may have a lot of fans who adore them, that feel they're entertaining or may agree with them, but in totality, they become disconnected from the average gamer. And this is a small platform. I'm the average person, period. But let's just say if I am blessed one day to where I am on a level like that, I never want to become disconnected from the average gamer. I will always do shows like this. I will always let people on that disagree with me. We'll always have fun. We'll take shots at each other, like me and Cold Blood do all the time. Cold Blood, I gotta admit, Cold Blood gets me more often than I get him. I think I got him today, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But now I never want to create a dynamic where people have to agree with me, and that's all I surround myself with. Because when you create that dynamic, you only get people like this. And again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not saying this for you to aim your pitchforks at Paris. I'm just this is just a moment of clarity and transparency. So Paris hates Stadia because, again, he doesn't see the market. And I'm throwing this out there. I think he's afraid. I think he, like other people, are just afraid that cloud gaming is going to get so successful and the performance is going to be so on par versus dedicated devices that he wants to see it die. I think it's a threat. He loves being able to come home, look at his tower, hug it. Oh, I love you. And, I love you. And whatever he does with it, I don't know. And he thinks that this is a threat to that. So while it's in its infancy stage, he wants to stomp it out before it grows and becomes a threat. Now, why do I say something like that? Because we saw this from Paris in 2013. Give me 1 second. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on 1 second. One second, y'all. Give me a second. I'm coming. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so we saw this from Paris in 2013, and not to pick on Paris, even though he's at the centrifuge of this next subject matter I want to talk about before we wrap up. But Paris, in 2013, was the one raising scorched earth over the Xbox DRM. This is evil. This is horrible. I can't believe this. For only several years later for DRM to be part of a large swath of our games right now. Not too long ago, Paris, I want my physical copy, the physical copy. Now it's like he's on TV or wherever he's at. And he's like, yeah, it's going to die. The GameStop is going to die. And I hope it's dead. If it dies, it dies, right? Now, the problem with what he did in 2013 and the likes was that when he did that, him and others did it in such a way to where it's become a detriment to us right now. Why do I say that? Because if we would have let DRM on Xbox play out the way that Xbox wanted to play out, one or two things would have happened. It would have died out on its own because the market would have said, you know what, we don't want this. Or two, it would have been successful and it would have become a feasible option. We still got CDs now with the advent of MP. You can still go into Walmart and buy CDs. CDs ain't going if you want them. It just ain't the predominant way of doing things when it comes to listening to music. And the same that would have happened here. If DRM would have been successful, if the digital trading would have been successful, then we would have had more control over digital distribution rights than we do now. They were proposing stuff like you can share it up to you can share a single game with up to 9 people. You can share a single digital download with up to 9 people, they were proposing. You could trade it in. You just were limited on the times you could, but you could trade it in. Now, as digital game purchases are starting to be the majority in all of gaming, it's still not the majority yet in console gaming, but it's getting there. I think it's like 40% of all console gaming is done digitally, so it's getting there. But now with it being at 40%, we have no control over it. Prices are going up. We can't trade nothing. We can't share it with 9 people. You know what I'm saying? But it was because of fear. Because of fear from people like Paris that we've lost access to something that could have been gratifying for us. And now we're in this paradox where him and Jason Schreier going at it because Cyberpunk 2077 now has crunch. Crunch absolutely, Jason Schreier said something about the crunch situation. Paris says crunch absolutely stinks, but it's almost like your agenda matters more than letting the same hardworking folks at CD Projekt Red just have one day to celebrate a huge achievement. And Jason wasn't having it. He says, agenda? You want to talk about agenda? Let's talk about agendas. Now, I'm going to say this. Even though I put my smart aleck comment, oh, damn, get him, Jason. I don't have a pony in this fight. I just brought this up here to highlight 2 things. Number one, both of these guys have an agenda. It's just one is induced by one's own gaming politics. The other one is induced by company brown nosing. Now, I'm going to leave that up to you and decide which one is worse. I'm not either. An agenda is an agenda, and I don't like agendas across the board because it doesn't keep your focus in the media unbiased. You know, you're already biased in a way to where I can't really relate to your commentary on stuff. But what I can say is they both have an agenda. Jason's agenda is, again, is politically induced. And when I say politically induced, I don't mean politics like, you know, Fed and stuff. I'm talking about as far as politics are concerned in gaming. Paris's agenda is induced by company brown nosing. This guy has been sent so much stuff from Xbox, and he's pivoted so much on Xbox since receiving said items, it would make your head spin like The Exorcist. Now, what I do appreciate from Jason, and I'll let you know I appreciate something from both of these individuals. What I appreciate from Jason is, look, whatever you think about his gaming opinion, and I don't agree with his gaming opinion, nor Paris's, Jason is a hell of an investigative and journalist. If Jason says something happens, it happens. Period. If he says something happened, it happened. It's just his gaming opinion or his political opinion about said subject may be right or wrong or whatever, and it's his to have. I don't care. I don't believe in his opinions about the state of gaming. He thinks the state of gaming is super fantastic. I don't think that way. I think there are possibilities, hence why I love Stadia, because of what they're proposing. But I'm fearful of the prospect of just getting prettier polygons and compute units. I want to see innovation in gameplay, and I'm not seeing that. But he just loves the fact that there's a buffet of games out there that he could, put Kung Pao sauce on and jump into like he's at Golden Corral or something. I don't like that. I don't like buffet gaming. I want quality gaming. I'm a Ruth Chris Steakhouse type of gamer, not a Golden Corral gamer. But that's here nor there. You can't take away his investigative journalism. Paris, on the other hand, he's very entertaining. He's an entertaining speaker. Agree with him or not, he's a very entertaining speaker, and he's a great interviewer. When he's unbiased, he asks the questions that you may be thinking, that you may want answered. So there's something to appreciate from both entities, but believe you me, they both have an agenda. Now, my personal opinion as far as Cyberpunk 2077 is concerned in Crunch is, y'all know how I feel about Crunch. As someone that has dealt in programming, led a programming team, not in gaming, but in other stuff, I can tell you Crunch is dangerous. It is dangerous. People say, I worked at the steel mill for 15 hours, and yes, I got calluses, and that's fine. It's easier for your body to heal from that. I've done hard labor jobs too. But when your brain is stressed, it affects your entire body. And it's something that is a lot more difficult to recover from. And sitting there doing crunch and trying to figure out code and all that other stuff, and sitting there in front of the computer screen and having that stress on your eyes, which then affects your brain, I'm telling you, is serious. So crunch, when it happens for several months, like 7 days a week, that's dangerous. I've been through 2 crunches. I put myself on a self-imposed crunch about a decade ago, because what happened was, this is why I had to learn. I talked about this earlier. I had to learn SQL and Visual Basic. I just took a 1,000-page book and just read on it and practiced it and learned it myself. That came about because we had a group of programmers that were working on something that I had came up with. I had actually won a prize from the company because I came up with this idea. I'm not saying this to gloat. I'm laying the foundation on letting y'all know why I had to go to the extremes that I went to. Excuse me. I won a cash prize. Took my picture, got all, snazzied up, and was sitting there with the creme de la creme of the company. It was a wonderful thing because what I had proposed was going to save the company a whole lot of money. But I wasn't a programmer. I was just, again, at that time, I was just an accounting major and a business management major. And I was a young guy that had a fresh idea that the company could benefit from. So they had took this idea and they liked it because on the surface, when I presented my idea, there were people that told me, oh, this is something easy we can do. All we need to do is allocate 2 of our programmers. They can get this done in 7 months. So that was on everyone's mind, that this program was going to be done in 7 months. Well, come 2 years later, we were nowhere near the first quarter stage of getting this done. The programmers had undershot the moon on this. They had already given away money for cash prize on it. They couldn't burn this project. It would have looked too bad. It was something that was being brought up in presentations to clients. We are working on. So what they did is, the two people that made that promise that wasn't making anything happen, they said, hey, it was nice knowing you guys. Adios, amigos. Got rid of them. I was in shock. Had a meeting with me and said, all right, brother, this is now your project. You got to find the right team corporate-wise that can get this thing done. You have to. I am scared. I am nervous. Because, again, I know what position we're in. We're the red-headed stepchildren. And I knew whose head was next on the chopping block. They got rid of the programmers that made the promise. The guy that we awarded this to that sold us this idea. So then I said, you know what? I don't know who to trust but myself. Went and got me, and then I went and taught myself Visual Basic and created the program myself. And I went through a crunch period of 9 months. I was able to get the program done by myself in 9 months. And I stayed for 10 to 12 hours, 6 days, sometimes 7 days a week, because I still had a job. That wasn't my normal job. I would do my normal job and then spend another 5 so odd hours doing programming. And this was years ago. This was almost 10 years ago. This was before, maybe even 15. This is before working at home was even plausible, before RSA tokens and, and all that other stuff, all that stuff, right? And I got it done. And that was that was self-imposed. But I had burnt myself out so much on all that programming, 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, that my mind was mush. And we celebrated after I got it done. And then my boss came and called me in the office and said, great job, but I'm sending you home for 3 months. He said, I'm sending you home for 3 months. He said, you are no use to me right now. I said, no. I don't need 3 months. So I said, give me 1 or give me a couple of weeks. He's like, no. And then we finally got down to like 1. And really that 1 wasn't enough because my sharpness, my awareness, all that stuff was being damaged because I crunched my brain so much. I'm telling y'all, crunch is when it's crunch and it's something that really sets into your brain and works your brain at levels that has never been worked before, that's dangerous. So yeah, I said all that to say this. Crunch is serious. With that being said, this is 6 weeks of crunch. And this is 6 weeks of crunch that they're supposedly paying them for a lot. And the people may be okay with doing it to getting it done. So crunch that happens in several months, I think that's horrible. As someone who self-imposed it, I know it's horrible. So can you imagine not only having to go through that, but then you're being forced to do this? That's really working the brain. But crunch over 6 weeks, I don't know about that. All crunch isn't the same. And with that being said, I see why this is necessary because, or why, well, I'll put it like this. I see why CD Projekt Red thinks this is necessary because if y'all heard that last investors call after the last delay, my God, if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. They laid into them. They said, hold on, when y'all delayed it the first time, Y'all said all y'all got to do is X, Y, Z, and it's going to be ready. And then y'all giving us the same spill. And there was this cat from Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. I don't know who his name is, but he made the hairs on the back of my neck stand the way he was so upset. See, everybody else was slightly agitated and confused. This guy from Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, was furious. I urge y'all to go back and listen to that investor call. It leaked out, and I think it's still out there, where they talked about why they had to do the most recent delay. They can't do another delay. Because if they do another delay, those same financial backers might say, you know what? Y'all games do well, but we got to go back to our investors and give them an ETA. And it's too risky with y'all. Y'all ETAs are all over the place, and it's too risky for us. We can't pull no more money to fund you. That guy, and Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter is probably, if not their largest, because they're a huge financial institution. If Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter is not their largest backer on this, as far as investors are concerned, they're one of the largest as far as outside backers on this. And that guy was clearly upset. So just some food for thought. Those are my thoughts. So again, on this whole Paris versus Jason thing, they both have agendas. Don't fall for that crap. One is politically induced. The other one is corporate brown-nosing induced. Trust me. But as far as this crunch is concerned with CyberPunk 2077, I don't like crunch. I explained to y'all in full length why I don't like it. But a 6-week crunch, in this case, because of what CD Projekt Red is having to deal with their investors, I can see if they're behind why they're doing it and why they simply just can't do another pushback. That's just my personal opinion. From what I heard, I just don't think they can afford to do it because it might hamper and it might hamper their ability to raise capital for future products and certain, future projects rather. And that's my spiel. So let's I've done enough talking. And so let's do this. Let's go to you guys. Let's see what you guys. The homie Ash is in the house. He says, "What's a good read, Charles?" He says, my wife and I do that regularly now. What's that? He says, "I have done crunch at a company I enjoy. To me, it depends how it is handled, length, and the culture of the company." Absolutely. He says, exactly. Crunch depends on context and culture. CD Projekt Red giving 10 months of profits to all employees for 6 weeks of crunch is pretty spectacular. That is why you don't see an employee uproar. Yeah, I don't think. And then there was another type of crunch ashes that I went through, where a major product line of ours went haywire. And I was forced to do this for 3 months. It was major. It was a serious financial and reputational risk and impact to the company. Like it really would have, if we didn't get this right, this literally would have shut down our department. It was right at the moment of shipping our product and services out the door. You know what I mean? It was hampering that. It wasn't making it faulty or anything. It was shipping what we do out the door and putting it in the hands of our clientele. And we had to do some manual stuff that required me for 3 months, 5 days a week, to stay over 4 or 5 hours and work with IT teams out of Microsoft. I met a lot of people at Microsoft, not people that you guys know in gaming, but I met a lot of the database related people at Microsoft. We got on a first name basis. I want to say this was about like maybe 5-6 years ago. From doing this. And so we work with their database infrastructure team and a lot of other people to problem solve something. I want to say, it took us about 3 months to get that fixed. Now I was forced into that, but 3 months was, let me be honest about that. It was over a 3 month span, but I didn't have to do it 3 months straight. Like I would do 2 weeks and then I had like a team lead. She would stay in for me and do her part, and cover me for 2 weeks. So it wasn't like 3 weeks straight. 3 months straight, but still. you know. It says Stadia Revolution. They said the game was finished back in February and playable when they delayed it. They said the same thing in June when they delayed it again. Stadia Revolution, you hit the nail right on the head. This is the exact same thing that person from Morgan Stanley was saying. That was the exact same thing they were saying. They were hot and they weren't having it. So great point. Let's see who else we got here. He says, I come home from work every day with good intentions, but always find myself glued to Stadia content or gaming. Hey, man, I feel the same way, too. I listen to other podcasts that don't talk about it. They don't even like Stadia, but I'm an info junkie. I'm an info junkie. One of the podcasts that I recommend, and I got to mind you, they're full of, I hate to say Xbox fanboys, but Xbox diehards now. One in particular, but it's Rebel FM. I love that show because I get every time I listen to an episode, I get educated on something. And they hate the prospects of Stadia. But even in one episode, I think it was Arthur had said, hey, look, I don't like the prospects of Stadia, but everybody laughing at the predictive controls, they need to stop it. They said it's the same thing that's being used in Call of Duty, or it's the same theory being used in Call of Duty. He said if you ever go around a corner, notice how you die before you even get shot. It's because the predictive control said, you know what, he was pulling the trigger and he was going to kill you. So we just, it just happened out of sync. And at least we don't ever see that type of stuff. Well, I haven't seen it yet in Stadia, but people will see it a lot in Call of Duty, and they still buy Call of Duty in droves, right? So you see a sloppier version of it in Call of Duty, and Call of Duty's doing just fine, right? So, but I listen to them all the time. He says the guy Jason is bashing on CD during crunch for 6 weeks, yet praises Amazon and forces employees to constantly work overtime. Yeah, that's why I said, Spaceman, Jason clearly has an agenda. He has a political agenda. One that I don't wholeheartedly agree with. I just love his investigative work. Charles Aran says, do you research and do due diligence and try it? Otherwise, I think you're... Anumar is a bot. We love Anumar. He's just a bot. This is unlimited on my end, so no data caps here. If you're a data cap playing on TV, this option works well, no data caps. Let me see. Luis is not sure about Anumar. How many games you install in your console before? I said Anumar's getting y'all worked up. Hey, look, Anumar is a bot. I refuse to believe that Anumar is a real live person. But I love bots too, Don't let him get you worked up. But shout out to him. Cold Blood says, what about the Google Chromecast? Why the hell doesn't it support Stadia? What BS reason could there be? Please explain this. Great question. Even though I think I talked about this last show. So I have the Stadia Chromecast. I bought the new one. I bought Sabrina. And I side-loaded it on there. Let me see if I can find my tweet. That better explains this. Uh-oh. We lost our footage. We lost our game footage. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can find it. All right. Oh, better yet, let me go here because I put it in one of these DMs. Where is that? Okay. All right. So let's do this cold blood. That's a great point. I was going to talk about this tomorrow on SSC, but we can dig into it just for a few moments here. I said, I had to sit on this previous tweet where I explained that because of the uproar, I was going to take it upon myself because I had no interest in it whatsoever. But I make the sacrifice for you all the time, and then my wife punches me in the face for it later. I went and bought the new Chromecast, Sabrina. And I side-loaded Stadia on Sabrina Chromecast. It definitely works, but I see why it's not supported at the moment. So in order for you to get it on, Sabrina, you got to enable the experimental mode on Stadia. And when you enable the experimental mode, that mode right now was only developed for phones. It wasn't developed for devices that didn't support, and that should speak for itself. It's different when you're dealing with, phones that you don't support, opposed to full-fledged devices. But with that said, so because it's that experimental mode is really for phones only, it doesn't have the requirement for you to sync. It's like a different UI. It's its own UI that looks similar to the basic Stadia UI, but this UI, because the experimental mode was only made for phones, it doesn't have the options to sync your controller off the bat. Doesn't have that option. Because what it does is it reads whether your controller, you have something synced to it already. You know what I'm saying? It's expecting for there to be a controller synced to the phone already, or some type of mechanism to be synced to the phone. So when you sideload it and you go boot up Stadia, there is no way for you to link your controller to it. Your Stadia controller off the bat, there isn't. So again, enabling experimental mode takes away Stadia controller pairing. Then you say, okay, well then I'm going to use third-party peripherals. You may go use a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller, and they create more lag than desirable. It's still playable, but you can't, like if you're playing Destiny, you're going to feel it big time, especially with an Xbox controller. The Xbox One controllers have a lot of lag in them. The most recent Bluetooth ones, they really do. They're really known for that too. Hence why Digital Foundry, when Stadia first came out, they were able to find some instances in some games where Stadia had less lag. The Stadia controller playing on Stadia had less lag in it or latency rather, and lag than playing on the Xbox One controller. And then lastly, it's the performance is not on par with playing Stadia on the Chromecast controller. So all in all, even though this is labeled a Chromecast, which they probably shouldn't have called this and how it works does not work the same way that the Chromecast works. This thing is modeled basically here. I'm going to say it. They basically ripped off Amazon. They basically ripped off Amazon and did what they did better. It's a better Fire TV and a better Fire TV dongle. It looks just like a Fire TV as far as the graphic user interface. And I'm imagining that the inner workings of it work more like the Fire TV for the simple fact that the same lag performance issues that I'm experiencing sideloading Stadia are the same issues that I experience when I try to sideload other gaming things onto the Fire Stick or the Fire TV Cube. They work exactly the same except on the Google dongle. I'm going to call this the Google TV dongle. I'm not even going to call it the Chromecast. The Google TV dongle, the lag and the latency and the issues of sideloading these gaming platforms on there aren't as prevalent. So the lag that I'm talking about here that you experience on the Google TV is better than the lag you're going to experience on the Fire TV. This right here, this dongle is basically a TV dongle that was made to battle the Fire TV. That's what it was made to do. It was not made to battle. It was not made as a full-blown replacement to the Chromecast. It was made to battle Fire TV, get more Google dongles in the home, and cut off Fire TV at the pass, and do that starting this holiday season. So that's why they said, look, we're going to cut out the Chromecast Ultras because we don't want people buying Chromecast Ultras anymore. We're trying to move away from that hardware. We want this to be the new hardware for people that want to watch TVs. But if you want to use a Chromecast Ultra for gaming, we're just going to bundle it in with Stadia and just put it out there for $100. And I get it that a lot of the anger and angst was because you don't have that option to buy the Chromecast separately anymore. But for Google's greater strategy, they don't want that Chromecast Ultra out there anymore unless you are buying it for Stadia. And to ensure the only reason why you're buying it with Stadia is that they're putting it in a $100 bundle. Now that I have Sabrina in my home and I'm working it, now I see what's going on. This is just a better version of the Fire TV. Hardware-wise, it works nothing like prior Chromecast. I really think they made a mistake in calling it a Chromecast. They should have came up with another name. And because of that, they were trying to get this new dongle out there. I don't even want to call it a Chromecast. Because they were trying to get this new dongle out there and they were trying to get it out there in time to beat the holiday rush for TV purposes solely. They're trying to beat out Amazon and getting their TV peripheral out there. They said, we're not going to wait for Stadia to be compliant with this. We're not, and we want everybody for their TV needs to come here. So we're getting rid of the Chromecast because as far as capabilities are concerned, the Chromecast is on a completely different path. And we don't even want that option out there no more. We don't. This hardware works completely different. Now I get why they did it. I think the mistake in the matter was calling it a Chromecast. It's something completely different. It works completely different from the Chromecast. By the fact that it works like an Android TV box. And for those that are familiar with Android TV boxes, you understand the difference between an Android TV box and a Chromecast. That's why, I get it. I get why they call it. They like the marketing of the name. But maybe call it Google Cast or something. I don't know. But that's where I think they made their mistake at. This shouldn't even be called a Chromecast. But that's why they did the Cold Blood Sensei. And it makes perfect sense to me. Dosage, yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that later today. Side loading the Chrome browser and seeing how that works. Says, Mr. Satya, can you buy Bethesda for me, pretty please? Can you imagine that Xbox is used but still need to ask blessings for Microsoft? Says, no, that's like Willie saying Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. He says Xbox Game Pass does not work for Windows. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I hear Bill from Stadia Cast say that all the time. And I agree with that. Nobody's mad at Windows because Xbox Game Pass ain't embedded in Windows yet. Not Xbox Game Pass, but because xCloud isn't embedded in Windows yet. And I don't want to hear that crap because it's in beta. They're all in early stages. And just like xCloud is in a paid for early stage, so is Stadia. I don't want to hear that junk. It's beta. Stadia isn't a console for stars. Sabrina was developed in the beginning, the begging to rival Amazon. Exactly. That's it, Hell Monkey. You explained it 70 times better than I could. Sabrina was solely developed to rival Amazon's Fire Stick, and it's going to take a lot more. Apparently, it's going to take a lot more than what it took for the original Chromecast to get Stadia compliant. And they didn't want to beat that rush, that holiday rush of 2020. They wanted to be out there for the holiday rush of 2020, and they don't want no more. Now I get it. They don't want no more Chromecasts, the old ones out there. They said that's an old and done situation. We don't care. It's done. And I get it. Now I know this is being compared to when Xbox canceled the X, but the problem with that is the X never materialized into what it was supposed to be. Never. I got hellified use out of my Chromecast. The X was supposed to be exponentially better as far as how it showcased games. We were supposed to get this era of gaming that would blow our minds with all these green lights and bibblebots, and it never materialized like that. I got hellified use out of my CCU. So me personally, I can't put them on the same plane. Just like how we had the PlayStation TV that got canceled. I don't. Sony said that is a device that is in a direction that we don't care for. And we're going to leave that alone. And I can get it. I can dig it. I wasn't upset when Sony did that. The only reason, and I wouldn't be upset with Microsoft at canceling the X. The only reason why I'm upset with Microsoft is because the X never materialized. It never materialized into what they promised it was going to be. It never did. So that's why I'm upset about the X. I paid $500, and plus I paid $500 for that. And it never materialized. Like this last year and a half, my Xbox literally sat. $500 for me to get a year and a half's worth of use out of this thing. Or really, no, not even a year and a half, like 7 months of use out of this thing. When this came out in November, I want to say like August of 2018. Well, no, I say I got a good year out of it. $500 to get a good year out of it? No. Out of a game console? No. So to me, those are my feelings on that. But it says, and I want CCWG TV coming tomorrow. I'm waiting for native Stadia support. I'll use them. It works, Rev. It works. Like I was playing some Division 2 on challenging, and I was playing some Outposts. You know you can't beat no Outpost if you got too much lag, so it works. It's just not fluid the way, Stadia is performance nuts. It's not fluid the way they want it to be. But I'll use it. It's sitting in my living room right now. What I might do is I might just swap it out. I might bring it up here. No. I think I'm going to leave. See, that's going to be a tough one, man. Because I only got one Stadia controller. I might just order another Stadia controller. I got to figure that out. But no, I can play. I played Division like a good hour. I had a blast with it. It's just not as stable as it is. Since people mad about it not supporting Stadia right now when Google never even said it. Yeah, that wasn't that clear. You guys got to get it in your hands and to understand the intentions. Now I get it. For someone that has tested out Fire TV, I used to play Steam. The Steam thing that you could stream. I used to play that on my Fire TV all the time. I used to play Metro. What's that? The second one, Last Light or something like that? Metro Last Light in 2023 or 2033, whatever the hell it is. I used to play that all the time on my Fire TV. So I have a lot of familiarity with how the peripherals work with the Fire Stick and stuff like that and all that stuff. I'm here to tell you that the Google Cast, I'm gonna call it the Google TV Cast. It works so much better than, like, if they could market this thing right, the Fire Stick is in trouble. And that's why they wanted it at that $40 price point, because they wanted to battle the Fire Stick for its TV capabilities. It all makes sense to me now. All makes sense. But yeah, with that said, this was a very, very, very fruitful episode of the open mic session. It went longer than I expected as usual, because I like to blabber. I got to get these down to an hour. But with that said, thank y'all so much. We're going to do these every other day. We're going to do these Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so that we'll be back here again on Friday. I'm thinking like 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock. But with that said, thank you guys so much for your support. And as always, you have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Not sorry. Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. I'm not sorry.